It's the book of First Peter chapter 1, point is verse 7, and it reads, no, that ain't what I want. Salakia. It's the book of First Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. First Peter chapter 5, verse 8, and it reads, Be sober, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. I'm gonna read it in the NLT. It reads, Stay alert, watch out for the great enemy, the devil. He prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. I'm going to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to Kol Elohim, by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kodash Barakatham. I want to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Say shalom to the Akim and the Akwat out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. It's your brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This lesson is in regards to, I actually was looking online, trying to find some kind of newsworthy article to go into. Nothing really moved my spirit. And it's funny because as of lately, I've been doing videos basically just through the Spirit, either with brothers or whatever came to my mind's eye. And actually, a brother put something in the group chat, and not to be stealing that brother's title, because he had a title. I'm not going to name the title of my lesson, what he was going to name his. It was something along the lines of, how did he word it? Something along the lines of, you won't know when Satan is on you unless the Lord reveal it, or something to that context. And it was deep because it made me think about, how often we go off of this truth, because you're going to go off in this truth, you know what I mean? It's, there's no way to keep these laws, statutes, commandments, especially in a kingdom that is set up in wickedness. This place promotes wickedness. This place is contrary to the scriptures. Shantan, or Satan, or the adversary, is against. He's opposite of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Although he's in perfect order with Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I did a video recently about the duality of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because it tells you in the scriptures he creates both good and evil. You go into the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, it talks about how he created both one and one against the other, opposing forces. And that's omnipotence right there, because, these Christians tell you that the Most High God is just, he's just all righteousness, or he's all good, all loving, which he is these things, but he also has a left-hand side, those that, dabble in the occult, they call it the left-hand path, So when you read Psalms 110, when it talks about Psalms chapter 110, it talks about my Lord said it, the Lord said it on the right-hand side of my Lord. So if the Most High God, Abba Yahweh, is sitting, and then our big brother, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, is sitting on his right, who's sitting at his left? And that is a balance, But not to digress, the point of the lesson is pretty much, I was thinking about the fact that, again, it's easy to go off in this thing. And if you're doing the right thing, Shantan is going to basically be given the go-ahead to test you, because ultimately the test is coming from the Lord. I'm going to read this definition real quick. It reads,
Strong's G 476, Antidikos.
And this is out of First Peter chapter 5. And, adversary says, Antidikos, opponent in a suit of law, an adversary enemy. So, you know, these different trials and tribulations that we undergo because it's due to the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we have an opponent that's basically put in a position to try to have us go off, you know, and, you know, scriptures talk about a righteous man fall off 7 times. It's not necessarily the 7 times. It's a complete number of times, though. You know, I'm set up to fall or fall down or, you know, a set number of times as well as every other brother. Because like I said, again, it's no man is going to walk this thing, you know, without sinning. You know, only man that has ever done that is our big brother Yahweh Shah Mashiach. And that's what makes him perfect, you know. But he also gave us, you know, the download, you know, the breakdown of how to, you know, maneuver through this place. Because if he was able to, you know, walk this walk in the flesh and overcome, because that's what a champion is. We, as his disciples, his followers, his younger brothers, we're the knowledge. You know, I often quote something as far as, you know, it's wisdom is doing. You applying it. You walking with wisdom. You utilizing what the wisdom that you have. It'd be foolish to know exit in a building, but you don't try to utilize it. You know, then something detrimental happens in the building and you don't utilize. Though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. You know, because you know, your walk in his truth is a trial. It's a test. You know, you were set up to, you know, from the day you were born to the family you was born into, all those were part of your lot, your trials, your tests. You know, it's the book of James. Truth don't even understand that you're being tested. You know, you've got individuals that the Lord, because it tells you in the scriptures that the Lord orders the steps of man, roughly paraphrased. So you might have individuals that automatically have a spirit of a scoffer, but they always tend to be around somebody that's bringing out the truth. They might hear it, or they might work by where a brother's camp, or a multitude of things. You know, that's a test in itself, you know. And it seems like people never really want to be open minded to anything except for when shit is really hitting the fan. But the scriptures talk about how it's a time limit on this thing. The doors of mercy, you know, is eventually going to be shut. The scriptures talk about in the book of Amos, chapter 8, that there's going to be a famine of hearing the word of the Most High, because he's going to take his men, his mouthpieces, off the highways and the hedges. You know, so again, thinking about what the brother has said, because, you know, you could be going off, you know, that's why the scriptures talk about how to walk in this walk of ours, you know. It's the book of start at verse 22, and it reads that ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. So the way that you were before you came to this beautiful knowledge, this glorious truth, you supposed to put that away, because we all were living in a sinful manner. I don't care who you were, brothers will give you testimony on that. I know I was, and, a multitude of brothers, what I mean? You come to understand how you ain't shit or you wasn't shit before you found out this truth. That's why brothers be so sincerely hurt when they go off. But again, it's, pretty much set up where you're going to have to go off. And I think, just speaking as a man, that the Lord has us go off to understand that we need him. We living in a system where you're going to go off. We don't make our own clothes. We, just wearing the clothing alone is sin. Verse 24, and that ye put on that new man. And, that new man is made up of the mindset of, scriptures talk about the old ways, the old path. I think it's Jeremiah chapter 6, and that new man will walk in that old way, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. And especially with a brother, we about to come into the time of, I believe Pure is tonight, but we coming into the time of the Passover. And if you got any 11, the Lord, I just remember the elder talking about that one man that was a part of GMS that the Lord judged to the point where he separated his head from his body, due to, a car accident. So, that's the terrible power, that's the power we're dealing with, and I can only imagine the different things that our elders and apostles have actually witnessed. That's why they have such great fear of the Lord and such, unshakable belief. It says, verse 27, neither give place to the devil, because the devil's trying to find a foothold. Elders often bring out about you being one way amongst the brotherhood and then you another nigga, at home or amongst, you got niggas from the world. So you one way with them, and then which you got to do the Clark Kent, which I understand. But what I'm saying is this righteous pillar of the truth of GMS when you're amongst brothers. But then when you not amongst brothers, you this nigga Pookie from down the way. You know what I mean? Like it says, let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands. And, I'm going to end it with this. The thing which is good that he may have to give to him that needeth. So point being, it's a whole change of, how you walk. You know what I mean? Scriptures are against stealing, not just against your brother, but stealing, period. The scriptures talk about that, a man is not despised if he steal to feed himself, roughly paraphrased. But, at the same time, this society will despise you, though. Because it's showing you that this place is not righteous. So, again, the Lord might have allowed Shantan to tempt you with things from your past that he know that you struggle with. I remember certain brothers had trouble or battled because when they first came in, they had that smoking demon on them. I've heard certain elder brothers talk about the porno demon, and because there's a multitude of demons. You know what I mean? Scriptures talk about bringing your flesh into subjection. It's a lot of things that you can do in this truth that's not off, but the scriptures all talk about just because it's lawful doesn't make it expedient. There's a time and place for everything. And if you overindulge in anything, that could lead to your downfall. This is the book of what is this? Luke chapter 22, and the point is verse 31, and it reads, and the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. So when you go to that word sift, I'm not sure. Well, matter of fact, I'm going to get it. So again, you got to prove all things, right? It's the book of Luke, chapter 22, and verse 31, and it reads, and the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua said, behold, Satan, Salakia, and the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua said, Simon, 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 behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. So let's go into that word sift. I believe it means shake. God, I didn't know the Greek word.
Strong's G 4617, Seniadzo.
So it means to sift, shake, in a sieve by inward agitation to try one's faith to the verge of overthrow. That's powerful. That's powerful. I knew to shake because of the fact that elders made mention of it. I often say when around Passover, say it's sifting season, but it's always sifting season, you know. And certain individuals and brothers get sifted a lot more for whatever reason, you know what I mean? But listen to the breakdown. It says by inward agitation to try one's faith. You know, and that's deep because, like I said again, I did last year at the beginning of this year just started off as just like how the Lord started off with a bag with the earthquakes this year. I mean, He started it off with a bag for me. So call Lord Yahweh because you know when you look at it with a renewed eyes, you know, as a brother did a video, he said if you know Satan is constantly sifting or fucking with you, roughly paraphrase, you must be doing something right. You know, and best believe the Lord don't do nothing just to be doing it. Everything serves a purpose. So, you know, if Peter got tried, he's gonna try the whole, you know, the whole congregation. You know, everyone that calls himself a believer in His truth and that calls himself a Hebrew Israelite. You know, he tested Job. He tested Peter. You know, and of course He's gonna test us. You know, what's that? 1 Peter chapter 5. It says, "Going about as a roaring lion, seeking to whom He may destroy." Brother, me and a brother was doing a video last week, and he was talking about how Satan trying to catch you by yourself. You know, but when he see brothers in numbers, that's why you rarely have brothers spirits get uplifted when they get amongst each other fellowshipping. You know, Satan is normally. Well, you know, for the most part, I've never seen no crazy, wicked, weird shit go on when his brother, because you know it's power in numbers. The scriptures talk about when 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, then I am in the midst of thee. Roughly paraphrased. So Satan don't really come when his brothers amongst each other. He come when you by yourself, because he's seeking that one that he could devour. You know what I mean? So that's why you got to constantly be examining yourself. You know, scriptures talk about being circumspect because the days are be evil. You know, what's that? Ephesians chapter 5. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 13. So like it, 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. Examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves? How that Yahushua is in you, except ye be reprobates. So you gotta know. I mean, like I said again, and like it made me think of the title because, well, that's not gonna be my title. But the brother said, he said you won't know Satan on you until the Most High reveal it. But you gotta constantly be examining yourself. That's why I mean, you know, yeah. How you gonna really sit and get on a brother about him going off on something if you're not examining yourself, seeing if you going off? You know, This thing's required. Brother made a mention of that just the other day. He said, sometimes, no one understanding the state of the flock, you got to check in your own backyard. You got to understand your state. You got to examine yourself.